Hey everyone, we are the Gratitude Girls.
The Gratitude Girls are in the house. Hi, Lori.
Hi, Catherine.
How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. I wanted to share with you tonight that in honor of March 1st, I wanted to give a little light show celebrating that spring is around the corner.
Yay!
I thought we should just celebrate in a little way, so I thought I'd put on a show for you. I want to thank everybody for being here, and thank you for being here tonight, of course. And maybe would you let me introduce you, because I have something awesome I want to say about you tonight.
Sure.
Okay, great. So to our members and our guests and our clients tonight, I'd like to introduce my Gratitude Girls partner, my partner, my friend, my best friend, my American better half. When you're lucky enough to find gratitude in your life, it's important to know who and why. And I'm very grateful that Lori Delk-Radecki is my partner. And I'm grateful because she holds sacred space for us to come live with you tonight and once a month in our show. And Lori holds up everything that we do on the technical back and front end of what you see. So it's important for me to tell you that Lori Delk is a rock. She's a mountain. She is the base of everything that we do together. So I'd like you to give a round of applause in your head, or however you want to do that. Send accolades, send cards to Lori Delk-Radecki for what she does for us. Thank you.
Aw, thank you. That was so good.
You're welcome.
So yes, and everyone, this, of course, everybody knows Catherine Atara Myers. And yes, and the same thing. I mean, I am so lucky to have Catherine in my life. And, and like we say, you guys have watched our Gratitude Girl show, we say that on all the time. It was like love at first sight, but in business and friendship and in so many different levels. And we do so much, even behind the scenes, that you guys don't see on these airs, right? And so, but nothing happens in life as coincidence, right? There's a reason, there's a purpose. And the thing is, you have to be open enough to find that reason and to accept that reason. And like, I had no idea that my entire life was going to change the way it did, 8 years ago when we met on stage in front of thousands of people. But it has changed so much for the better because you are in it.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm really excited to be here all the time. It means so much to me to have this group specifically. This is our group that we launched a year in December. So if you're new here, you'll know that what we're doing with you is something that we feel very passionate about. So hopefully you can feel that in what we're going to deliver to you tonight. We want to talk about something. We mentioned gratitude. What about self-gratitude? Have you ever thought about that, care, self-care? We think about doing those things for ourselves because we need it. But what does it mean to have self-gratitude? Do you pat yourself on the back? Do you give yourself a hug? You should try that. Definitely give yourself a hug. There's no question about it. I want to mention a few highlights. So self-gratitude is about valuing yourself and who you are. If you're not valuing yourself, you're probably not valuing others. So that would be a really important key factor. Appreciating the good in yourself. And this can bring many positive changes in your life. Appreciate what you do and the good that you do. And there are some reasons that you need to thank yourself more often. So I would like to cover a few of those. And I'll mention them. And then, Lori, maybe you have something you want to say about these 4 reasons. I'll tell you what the 4 are, and then we'll talk about them in case you're taking notes. 1, acknowledge your strengths. 2, you will always have yourself. 3, your perception of yourself influences the way your life turns out. 4, you counter negative self-talk. All right, Lori, let's talk about you acknowledge your strengths. We express our gratitude, and it helps us to directs our focus. It helps us to be focused towards the things that we do well. So imagine if you don't acknowledge your strengths and you just think about what you can't do. I didn't get that done. I didn't do that. I'm not really good at that. Oh, I have to hire someone to clean my house because I'm not good at it. I have to hire someone to cook for me because I'm not a good cook. I have to hire a landscaper and a gardener because I'm not good at that. Well, you probably are doing pretty well at so many things if you're hiring people to do that. So that's one way of not acknowledging your strengths. The other way, learn to play your strengths effectively in different areas of your life. So acknowledge what you're good at. You might be great at delegating, which is why you can have all those people doing those things for you.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That reminds me of a story. So I remember way back when I was first getting successful, I was first making enough money that it wasn't just, oh my gosh, I've got to make these sales to put food on the table, right? And I remember I was out in our backyard, and at the time we had an above ground pool for the kids. And I was out there and I had taken off the cover off the pool, but it was just me. So what happened? When I was taking off the cover off the pool, then all the stuff on top of the pool that you kept out of the pool forever went into the pool, right? So then, and the kids want to swim, but this was when the kids were all much smaller, so they couldn't be out there helping me with it. So I was with the scooper thing, scooping out the leaves, the net, and I know that, that it takes time to do that. You get enough out, then you can vacuum the rest. But it was taking time, right? And I remember whining to my mom and just being like, I love the pool. The kids love the pool, but, just so aggravated. I should have waited till I had somebody here to help me, take the cover off. And this is just taking so much time to open and close the pool. I can maintain it all through the year, but just opening and closing it is just hard, especially one person and a girl. And mom said, Lori, you're making a little bit more money now. This is obviously something that you don't absolutely love, this process. Some of your work, or most or all of your work, you absolutely love. So there's people in the world that absolutely love to do that stuff with the pool. So why not pay them? It helps them to make money doing what they absolutely love, so you can focus on what you absolutely love. And then she took it a step further and she said, how many hours are you spending on this pool today and tomorrow or whatever to clean out this? How much would you have made if you were helping people in the job that you do?
What a good point. Exactly speaking to that. It makes so much sense. Acknowledge your strengths, and there you would be able to delegate. I love that. All right. Let's talk about you will always have yourself. I'll always have myself. You'll always have yourself. To our clients here tonight, you will always have yourself. So let's think about some of the little traps that we get into. We definitely know that it feels good when other people appreciate or compliment us. I felt great when Lori spoke about me. And if I didn't mention, my name is Catherine Asaro Myers, and I'm sitting to you. I said it every week. I'm sitting to you. I'm speaking to you, sitting here from Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario. Wanted to make sure that you knew this is an international training. So having ourself listening to other people compliment us feels great. But what if nobody complimented me today? What if Lori said, here's Catherine, here's Rara, Rara's in the house. and I just didn't somehow feel validated. And if I'm relying on others for appreciation, it's not really going to help me in the long run. So think about if you rely on other people to validate you. You will always look for validation from others to feel good about yourself. And that's really a trap that you don't want to get into. How do you get out of that trap? Celebrate you, celebrate your achievements, and then stay motivated. I know this is a trick question, like, how do I stay motivated? You stay motivated to keep making progress and giving your best effort in everything that you do. And the point here is to not feel the need for validation. So if you celebrate yourself, you're not going to look for somebody to pat you on the back or validate you, which you may not get. So no matter what happens, you always have yourself. If you learn how to celebrate, then you're not going to need anybody else to do that.
Yeah, and I want to add to that one thing that I thought of when you were saying that too is how important it is to write down, your goals, your dreams, your I am statements, right? But the thing is of writing them down and never, ever, ever throwing them away. So we know that we live in the world of minimalist and decluttering and all that stuff. And, and especially after moving and now talking about moving a second time, I'm definitely all for that. But there's some things I refuse to get rid of. I refuse to get rid of every single greeting card I've ever been given because those are emotions and hugs in the mail. I look at it and I just don't. I love to go back through them. Just like I don't get rid of any pictures. That pictures are families, they're memories with friends and families and all those things. I don't ever get rid of those. But also I don't ever get rid of my goal books, my dream books, my I am books, because on those you can look back. So there's so many things when you go through the hard times in life, it's so hard to remember all the good things that you've had. So the same thing, your gratitude journals, hopefully everybody's keeping that, right? I am thankful for, right? If I write every single day what I'm thankful for in my husband, then the one day when he's not totally like amazing, right? And I might feel a little bit whiny, which I can't imagine because he's so wonderful. But anyway, but I'm sure there's going to come that day, right? And so, but I can look through my gratitude journal and I can read how many things every single day that I've wrote down about this amazing man. And it's going to make me realize how negligible this one little thing was.
Right.
And so, but also for yourself of reading all your goals and then you've accomplished them, right? Like I remember when I first started out in my business back in 1993, my goal was to make an extra $500 a month. So my husband at the time didn't have to have a second job to help support our family. That was my goal. Now I make 100 times that, but if I didn't have my goals wrote down and then constantly achieving a goal and then making a little bit higher each time, then I would, I could be here and be like, well, now our house payment is, 10 times what it used to be too. And I could say, on that rather than look at how far I came and what all I've accomplished.
I love that you bring that up, how far you've come. It's important to remember how far we have come. What a great point. All right, let's talk about your perception of yourself. And it influences the way your life turns out. Really? How does that work? Okay, we get so preoccupied with asking for approval and appreciation from others that we forget to pause and give these to ourselves. We forget to pause and do that. It's like a habit. We really should create that habit. Until you know your worth, nobody or nothing else on the outside can make you feel good about yourself. You have to know your own worth. We have to know our own worth. You're going to be more likely to focus too much on people pleasing. Okay, you people pleasers, think about why you're doing that. So you're more likely to focus on people pleasing and attending to other people's needs more than your own. So when you say, I'm a people pleaser, think about what you're really saying. Think about that your perception of yourself influences the way your life turns out. Practicing self-gratitude helps build confidence. And you might think pleasing others is going to build your confidence, but it's really you avoiding understanding something about yourself. If you treat yourself with more kindness, that will enable you to bring more positive changes to your life. More kindness, not to others, not helping somebody else, being kind to them, to yourself, to ourselves. It's easy to tell someone, oh, let me help you. But then what about you? What about really giving yourself the time to pause and appreciate who you are? Let me mention one more thing before I ask Lori about this. Without a healthy sense of self, okay, healthy is the optimum word here, you're more likely to settle for unhealthy relationships. Oh, now that's not what you're looking for. You're going to throw self-improvement right out the window. I have two windows here. And generally, just a negative look on life. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to orchestrate that.
Right. Yes, I totally agree with that. And, I just want to add into what I was thinking about was one thing that I really, really struggled in this area is I was raised down here in the South in the Bible Belt, right? And in the Bible Belt, it was always taught joy, right? How to have joy in your life is Jesus first, others next, you last. Now, granted, to a point, I totally believe that. I totally believe you should put God and Jesus first in your life. I'm a Christian. No apologies for that. That is first in my life. And I totally believe that you should serve others and you should do for others. But putting yourself last is not your best option, because if you do all you can for Jesus and you do all you can for others and you have no strength to take care of yourself, then you are not going to be around to do all for Jesus and all for others in the future, because you've let yourself go and wore yourself out taking care of everything and everyone else around you, while letting yourself get diminished and malnourished. And even you've got to feed your soul, right? You not only put food in your body to make it healthy, but you've got to feed your soul. And when you feed your soul, that's taking care of you, right? And that might even be a part in serving Jesus. That might be in a part in serving others. I taking care of my children, taking care of my husband is still going to help feed me and feed my soul, right? Because those are people I love and those are people I want to do for. But especially, I think a lot of women, because we are so, it's how God designed our bodies, right? He designed us to cater to other people. Right. And we were, most of us, taught and raised the same thing, to care for others. And in like old school families, the woman takes care, the man goes out and does the work and takes care of the house financially. The woman takes care of the man and the children and the home, right? And so just looking at that concept, and I know with the world, a lot of things have changed or whatever, but still looking at that basic concept, you still, if the woman doesn't take care of herself, she's not going to be here to take care of the other people around her.
You made me think about something, Lori. This is kind of funny. I'll make you laugh in a second. So when you're making your gratitude list, don't forget to list a few things about yourself that you value, because it will help you feel more kindness and love towards yourself. You were talking about women, and I'm thinking about an apron. You know, an apron covers the front of us because we are taking it all on. I remember when I started wearing an apron that I put my arms through and it buttoned and it covered the back. And I thought, gee, what do I have all the material in the back for? I don't need it. Because when I grew up, and I still wear aprons when I cook, but put it, it's a chef's apron, put it over my head, and then it has pockets and I can put the rag or whatever, the cloth, and it's to protect my clothes. But I remember the apron that had like the little frills on it and it looked like a dress. And it really wasn't to get dirty as much as it was when we served. It had a different look. So you made me think about that and serving and what our ideas are about how we take care of our family and others and who we put first. Just the apron. Let's think about that. All right, let's talk about you counter negative self-talk. It happens. You ever talk to yourself and talk yourself right into like a bad mood, or like, I can't believe how that is, or whatever the point is that you're telling yourself. So negative self-talk prevents you. Okay. Prevents you, removes the bridges from taking chances and making big moves towards your goals and your dreams. The more you say you can't, the more you believe it. You know what they say? If you say you can or you say you can't, you're right. The negative voice in our heads gets louder when you sort of mess up and you tell yourself, I'm incompetent, can't get it right. You make a mistake. I'm thinking of the Wright brothers. Imagine the self-talk they had. Look at the perseverance that they had. Remember to thank yourself when you realize you've made mistakes. Say thank you. The awareness and admitting that you've made a mistake and trying to be better deserves appreciation. So imagine if, like the other day I was saying to my husband, you do that really well. Like, you're really good at that. And he was like, you saying that because you don't want to do it? I said, no, you just really do it. You do it better than me. I just don't have the patience for that. He's like, oh, you have patience for so many other things. Okay. But remember, if you do something well, appreciate yourself for that. It's never too little a thing. We need to do all of it. So you become able to channel your energy towards building yourself up, rather than giving in to negative self-talk and harsh criticisms or judgments toward yourself. Remember when you see your kids saying, I can't do it, or I feel bad, or I dropped this, or I broke that, or this happened at school. What do you say? Yeah, you should really feel bad about that. That was terrible. You say, don't worry about it. Or how do you feel? Tell me how you feel. How did that make you feel? So you listen, you acknowledge it, but you definitely don't go, that was a terrible thing. I can't believe you spilled the paint on the floor. So self-gratitude really helps, and practicing this really helps us to become more aware of the great things that we do, so that we can overlook those other things. Go ahead, acknowledge all the hard work that you've done. Think about it right now. Think about the hard work you've done today, yesterday, over the last week, the last month of February. This is March 1st. Make a conscious effort to thank yourself for all that you do. How would you do that? I don't know. Buy yourself something. Put some money aside. Save some money. Make yourself a nice dinner. Treat yourself tomorrow to a completely brand new hair color. Oh, did I let the cat out of the bag? I'm going to stop dyeing my hair and I'm going to turn into gray, shades of gray. Treat yourself. Turn something that might be maybe negative, like, oh, I can't believe that, into something completely positive, and feel that you deserve it.
Right. Yeah. And, and that just brings me back to the same thing of if you make lists, make goals, make your daily plans on your calendar of what you're going to do each and every day, then you can go back through your calendar and see what you've accomplished. Because it's so easy to forget
Hmm.
the good things when the negative things come, and then you focus on those.
Mm.
And also, and just think about, so the same thing, most of us in here are women, and most of us are moms. So just one easy way to think about it, right? So relate it to that. If one of your children came in, and so just for an example, so I'll talk about, health, losing weight. Lots of people are always working on that, right? Losing weight, looking better, blah, blah, blah. So if your child, that say was 12 years old, came in your bathroom, stood on your scale, and goes, oh, can't believe I'm so fat. I need to lose all this weight, right? And pouty, right? And you were there. What would you say if it was your child? The same thing. You would lift them up, you would cheer them on, you would tell them ideas that are going to help them to focus on their goals and what they're wanting, and go for walks and do some yoga and, different things, right? And so, but then we do that, right? We walk into our bathroom, we get on the scale, we do that, right? Or just think of anything in life. I'm just using that just because, that's like one of the number one things in the world, right? Is people selling health, lose weight stuff. But, but still, a lot of times we do that. We do that. And I mean, I'll admit that I'm working on things all the time, right? I've gained some weight in the last 2 years, and it was not because I was eating chocolate ice cream in the closet. It was some different female issues, right? But we all have things that we go through, right? So, and I do that. I get up every morning, go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, get on the scale. That's my routine. But if I got on the scale and looked in the mirror and said those negative things to myself, then I'm attracting more of those negative things. And I'll admit it, it's hard to say, oh, I just love myself the way I am. Right? But that's what things teach us that we're to do, right? But you can love yourself the way you are while you're getting into the process of where you want to be.
Right. I love that you said and remind ourselves, like truly remind yourself that you love yourself. Thank yourself for not giving up. Be patient. Be optimistic, and do exactly what Lori said. Be your own cheerleader. So you may not love exactly what's happening at that moment, but say, so I'll say, I was thinking, oh my gosh, how long is it going to take me to grow this out? Forever. I'm in a group with 2,500 women, and I hear after a year it grew 4 inches, and I'm thinking, this is never going to happen. And then I said, yes, it will. I'll help it along. But someone might say, I can't believe you have such long hair. That's amazing. And I'm thinking it's never going to happen. So I don't think about what's not going to happen. And I say, wow, I have really long hair. I'm really lucky. Okay, it's long and thick. Let me see what I'm going to do with this. Because a year ago, I would never, ever appreciate the fact that I had gray hair. I would be like, I decided to turn it around. And how did I do it? I joined a group with 2,500 women, and I read how each person cheered each person on. And I sort of had my mind made up before I joined the group. But if it helps you to be with us so we can cheer you on, then tell us. I really need you to help me cheer me on, get me through this. And that's what helps me. So I read these messages, I look at pictures every day. And every day I write my I am, and I color and I paint and I draw and I glue and I stencil and because that is important. So if you have a good habit, you probably won't let the bad habit knock that habit out of your repertoire. But if you don't have a good habit and you develop a solid bad habit, then you have a really good bad habit. Now that you have to go knock that one out of your repertoire. So what I do recommend is you think about being your own cheerleader. And Lori, this might be a really good section, a good way to talk about when we feel good about ourselves and we have that self-worth and we're not looking to be validated by someone else, we can be a better giver. So we have to be able to receive. And if we can receive, then we can give. And if we can be a better giver, think about the value that we have for those who come in contact with us. And I don't mean give, somebody pays us for our amazing services and we give them the service and they pay us. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about truly giving from the heart, because I hear very often how people want to give. Oh, I really love giving and I want everybody. And I'm not saying it's not genuine. I don't want to say but because it negates it. Are you truly giving? Let's talk a little bit about what a real giver has to do in order to be recognized or acknowledged or known for someone who helps. I want to talk a little bit about sometimes we want things for ourselves and we want them at the cost of something or someone else. But what about wanting to help someone truly so that they can be closer to their goal? Imagine if I knew what your goal was, and for many of you, I do, and you give me permission to assist you with that. And I give you things that are useful for you. And not because you asked, not because you paid for it, and you might have, but not because of that, because I'm a giver scout, right? You know, when you're cleaning the house, you're looking for dust. Well, imagine being a scout looking for who you can give to. Wouldn't that be a fun job or a fun way to spend a day? I have days of the week that I think about what I'm going to do for other people. Okay, I'm going to say that again. I have days of the week that I have set aside for things that I do for other people. And I go into a zone. And then I want that to be part of what happens so that I always have those receptors up. So that I don't have to go into my desk drawer and digging for the emotion to help people. Like, oh, there it is. Oh, yeah. How can I help you? I would like that to be on the surface so that I can easily access it, so that I can easily be a person, you know, when you hear a person of interest, a person who gives, there's sort of a negative connotation to a person of interest. Like, oh, did you do something wrong? What about somebody who does something right? Wouldn't you want to be known for that? Hey, let me call Lori because she's always helping me. Or Lori's just always there at the right time. Better yet, I don't even have to call Lori. She's there. Think about that. You have some points on that, Lori?
Yeah, definitely. Well, and what I was thinking too is I think that's a perfect time for us to go into homework, that because we both have taught people. So, right. So thinking of, writing down one, things that you're grateful for about yourself this week. And then two, writing down things that exactly that you're going to do for other people. So you want to be grateful for yourself, like we talked about earlier, of all the different things and the different ways for self gratitude, right? To be grateful for yourself, grateful. And, we teach in train about this all the time, being grateful and thankful, right? But so many times it's the thought of being grateful and thankful for other people and what they do for you. So be grateful and thankful for what you do for you, or even what you do for other people, but write that down so you can kind of focus on that and have that list to look back on. So when you are in that frame of mind of critiquing or criticizing yourself, that you can actually look at this and see where you can thank yourself. And then the same thing, write down some things this week of what you can be giving to other people, where you can give to other people, and with nothing in return. Like, I'm not giving to them because I want them to buy this from me. I'm not giving to them because I want them to do this for me, right? If I give you this pen, but I say, I'm going to give you this pen, but I want you to wash my car, then am I truly giving you this pen? Right? Or am I giving you this pen and it's no strings attached? Right? I'm giving it to give it. When I gave Catherine this little book, right?
I
I
love it.
didn't say, Catherine, I'm giving you this and I want you to do this for me, right? I gave it freely. It was a free gift, right? I had no expectation for anything in return. So that's where you have to think about the giving, right? If you're truly giving, you're giving from your heart, from your soul, from your whole embodiment, and you're not truly not expecting anything in return.
I love that. And I look at that eagle every day because it's in front of me also. You might want to listen to what people need. Listen to what they say. Be an active listener. So imagine if Lori said, I really like your sweater. And I just went and bought her the sweater and sent it to her. Now, I understand we're not talking about money only, but what if I could remember where I bought the sweater, then I could go and I actually do know where I bought it. So if someone says something, imagine if you can do that for them, or if you know that they like flowers and you can send them flowers or pick flowers for them, or if you know that they like farm fresh eggs and you live near a farm. One year I gave every bridge ambassador a dozen eggs from the farm. It was a big deal. I mean, it was a big deal because you can't get farm fresh eggs where I used to live. So if you can, give someone the information, the contact, the thing that they want. They might want to make $10 million. I understand that's not the thing you can give them, but on their way, on their route, on their route, on their journey, there are things that they want along the way. I had a rotary pin that I had wanted for a really long time. And the day I got it, which was a day last year before the pandemic, I got in the car and my husband had a business partner who was in from, I don't know, I think he was in from the Middle East. And I knew he'd be traveling. And I took the pin off my dress and I gave it to him. But I got in the car and I said to my husband, look, I finally got this pin. I'm so happy. I've been waiting for this pin for so long. And my husband's partner was talking about how he would be traveling. And I said, I think that this pin, because I waited so long for it and I just got it, might serve you. And you can wear it on your suit jacket and you can tell the story of how I gave it to you. And it may seem like a little thing, like it's only a pin, but I waited like 4.5 years for that pin. I really wanted it, but I thought that he would use it and I wanted to give it to him for good luck. And with the intention of that I earned it and I could give it to him and then he can talk about that and he can wear it proud. Now that may not seem like a big deal, But there's a lot of emotion in that. I'm sure you can feel it when I tell you this. And that's giving someone something with good intention, not expecting anything in return. And not to say, so by the way, how are you doing with that pin? Like, I have never asked him about it. So is a pin doing anything for you? It's not about then keeping track of it, right? It's like when you send a card to someone, you completely forget you send it to them. They call you and say, that card came on the best day. You made my day. And you're thinking, what did I send? What did it say? Oh, show it to me. And you did something and you said something that just made their day. So giving from your heart because you believe it will do something for someone that they either want or maybe they've indicated that it's in their wheelhouse. Lori talks about these lipsticks. We talk about all these things. I want to buy what Lori has. Like Lori has it, I'm going to go try it. So you have affinity towards things, or you have common interest. If you know people have those interests, then you share them. It doesn't have to be to buy them. It could be information. Information is really valuable. So if someone says, hey, how's that working out? You can share that. And I hope that this part of what we're saying makes sense to you. And if it feels a little bit awkward, we can elaborate a little bit more on it. Everybody's journey is different. Did you see the TikTok? I don't really get on TikTok too much, but the TikTok where the guy's going, yes, that's us. Yes, we're the government. We'd like you to choose your own adventure. So he goes into the whole COVID thing about, yes, no, we don't know what's happening. Oh, yeah, no, we don't know if you should wear your masks. No, we really don't know what you should be doing. No, but we'd like you to just choose your own adventure and just do whatever you'd like. So it's a spoof on rules and regulations and how really you just choose your own adventure. But it's all about this whole COVID thing with masks and, what are the rules and what are we supposed to do? And just how nobody knows. And I love that little TikTok thing. I don't think I delivered it as funny as it really was, but I love that because it's talking about choosing your own adventure. Choose your own gratitude adventure. Find people who are like-minded about gratitude. I mean, really, who do you know devotes their life to gratitude or devotes parts of their day to gratitude? And if you're here, it's probably because you do too. So you're in the right place. Imagine this community full of people who are giving and caring and kind and generous and grateful. Wouldn't that be like a fun place to visit more than once a week? That's why I can't wait to get here.
Yes, exactly. And like my book says, we all have choices, right? So we do. We have a choice of what adventure are you going to choose in your life, right? What route are you going to take? Are you going to do the mask thing? Are you going to be anti-mask? Are you going to go in the middle of the road and do a little bit of both to be a people pleaser and please everybody? And it's okay, whichever one of those options you are. But the thing is you have a choice. Right?
Good point, really. Great point. Laura, you think we should go a few minutes into our private room?
Yes, that would be a good thing.
Should we share any information before we go in there? If anybody has any questions, what we're doing, you want to give them a highlight?
Yes. So every week now we are trying to deliver, 15 to 30 minutes of optimum valuable content, right? And so we're trying to stick to 15 minutes, but when you have two speakers right on the thing, then we might go a little bit longer, but hopefully you love all the value that we're giving. And that's what we want to deliver is major valuable content, not with all the fluff and stuff all around it, so it can help you. But then the last part of our show, we are actually doing private coaching and training where you have to come join us. So we posted the Zoom link in our group a few times. So click on that, pull up your Zoom, just where it says ID, type in Lori Delk, all lowercase, and you can join us live. And so we end this recorded portion and then you join us live. So it's like the private coaching that we do that's $500 an hour, and you get to join with us. So we're going to sign off for now. If you do have any questions, you can go to gratitudegirls.com/coaching to read more, and come join us, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Have a great week.